Behind the mask of the charismatic rebel who conquered Hollywood lies a secret older than his most famous roles. Imagine a childhood where every smile hides a family drama, and the closest people play their parts without ever knowing it. Fate, it seems, had a script full of unpredictable twists prepared for him from the very beginning. Only decades later would the shocking truth come to light, turning everything upside down and revealing the true depth of his own story. Welcome to the tangled world of Jack Nicholson, whose personal drama proved to be as unpredictable and captivating as any movie script. Jack Nicholson, born on April 22, 1937, in Neptune, New Jersey, in this quiet, predominantly working-class coastal town, had a childhood that at first glance seemed perfectly normal for America at the time. A typical house on the boardwalk, ordinary relatives, school friends, summer fun at the beach, everything seemed to point to a stable, cloudless upbringing in a loving family. Yet, beneath this idyllic surface lay a deep, meticulously guarded family secret, so masterfully concealed that it only came to light decades later, when Jack had already achieved worldwide recognition and superstardom. From birth, Jack grew up firmly believing that his grandmother, Ethel May Rhoads, an energetic, strong-willed, and, according to some accounts, dominant woman who managed the household and a family business, a beauty salon, was his real mother. Ethel May was the central, authoritarian figure in the family. Her word was law. Her characteristic pragmatism and determination allowed the plan to conceal the truth to be conceived and executed. Meanwhile, his biological mother, the young, attractive, and vibrant showgirl dancer June Frances Nicholson, who traveled with performances and passionately dreamed of her own career on Broadway and in film, was officially presented within the family circle as his older sister. This complex family drama unfolded against the backdrop of conservative American society in the 1930s, where having a child out of wedlock was not just a disgrace but could lead to complete social ostracism, ruin a young woman's future prospects, and cast a shadow over the entire family. June gave birth to Jack at a very young age, just 17 years old. The circumstances of his conception were shrouded in mystery, and the identity of his biological father was never officially established or publicly disclosed. This question remained one of the deepest enigmas of his life, perhaps adding to his somewhat mystical aura. Numerous rumors circulated. Some speculated it might have been June's manager, others whispered about her married actor colleague, Donald Fursillo, who later became known as Frank Rocco, was specifically mentioned. And some even hinted at connections to the local mafia, lending the story a criminal, almost noir-like undertone. However, none of these assumptions were ever confirmed. To avoid a massive scandal that could have destroyed June's life and her burgeoning career in the entertainment industry, which at that time was particularly sensitive to moral issues, demanding an impeccable reputation from stars, and to protect the reputation of the entire family, June's parents. John Joseph Nicholson, a hard-working department store window dresser, an Irish Catholic who gave the family its surname, but from whom June had emotionally and physically distanced herself, leaving him in the shadow of the dominant Ethel May, and Ethel May, a strong, assertive, and practical woman who ran a family hair salon, was a talented self-taught artist, and the central, authoritarian figure in the family, made a brave yet incredibly difficult decision. They agreed to raise Jack as their own child, officially assuming the role of his parents. This plan demanded extraordinary coordination and secrecy from every family member, as June had to play the role of older sister to her own child, which was undoubtedly a huge emotional burden. She had to watch her own child call her mother mom, likely feeling an internal conflict and regret, but maintaining the facade for the sake of the family's well-being. This complex deception allowed the family to save face, avoid condemnation, and provide Jack with as normal an upbringing as possible, albeit one built on lies. How difficult do you imagine it was for June to live constantly concealing her motherhood? What price, in your opinion, did she pay for keeping this family secret? This family secret was so meticulously guarded that, according to some accounts, even close relatives, neighbors, and friends were unaware of the full truth, or at least chose to ignore it, adhering to an unwritten code of silence prevalent in small communities. Children at school likely had no idea, as the family presented itself as ordinary. This required constant vigilance and a coordinated performance from Ethel May and June, who had to live in perpetual fear of exposure, which undoubtedly left its mark on their lives and relationships within the family. One can only imagine June's internal struggle, forced daily to suppress her maternal instincts to maintain the facade. Jack grew up in Neptune City, and later the family moved to the neighboring, quieter town of Spring Lake, New Jersey, a typical resort town with an old American atmosphere and vibrant traditions. According to Nicholson himself, his childhood was normal and happy, and he never felt special or different from his peers. He was a regular kid from New Jersey who loved sports, going for walks, and, like many teenagers, was finding himself. He spent time with friends, played basketball, and seemed like a typical American teenager, completely unaware of the drama unfolding around his own origins. At Manasquan High School, he was known among friends as Nick and even then stood out with his charisma, wit, and noticeable sense of humor, earning him the title of class clown in 1954, the year he graduated. This choice undoubtedly highlighted his natural ability to attract attention, entertain others, and be at the center of events. He showed an early, though somewhat hidden, interest in acting, participating in school plays and already demonstrating remarkable talent and an ability to transform, which foreshadowed his future career. Perhaps this early experience of performing and hiding in his personal life, the unconscious need to perpetuate a family lie without knowing it, subtly developed in him a deep psychological insight, an ability to imitate, and perhaps a certain internal duality that would later become the foundation of his acting prowess and allow him to so convincingly portray complex, ambiguous characters. This experience might also have taught him to be observant of human behavior and hidden motives, which would be invaluable for any actor. However, Jack Nicholson's world was turned upside down only in 1974, when he was 37 years old and already an acclaimed, successful actor with several Oscar nominations, including the iconic role in Easy Rider that brought him his first big breakthrough. This revelation occurred while a journalist from Time magazine, one of the world's most influential publications, was working on a cover story about Nicholson. During a thorough investigation into his biography to create a complete portrait of the rising star, the journalist accidentally uncovered these deeply hidden family secrets. The journalist contacted Nicholson to inform him of the shocking truth, which was a genuine blow to the actor. By that time, his mother, June, and grandmother, Ethel May, whom he had known as mother and sister respectively, had already passed away. June died in 1963 from cancer, and Ethel May in 1970. So he couldn't get explanations directly from them, which undoubtedly added bitterness to the situation and a sense of lost opportunities for conversation and understanding. This fact might have intensified a feeling of loneliness, despite his outward success and throngs of fans. Do you think the secret about his origins and its late revelation helped Jack Nicholson better understand himself and develop the unique depth and complexity that is so captivating in his acting? Nevertheless, despite the drama and unexpectedness of the situation, Nicholson later stated that this discovery, though a pretty dramatic event, was not traumatic or devastating for him. He said it made a lot of things clear to him, providing answers to questions that might have unconsciously troubled him, shaping his complex character. He felt grateful to the journalist for revealing the truth about his origins, allowing him to finally piece together his life's puzzle and fully embrace it. Some biographers suggest that this discovery, while shocking, also freed him from some unresolved internal conflicts, allowing him to better understand himself and his place in the world. This episode added yet another, perhaps the deepest, layer of complexity to the already multifaceted and enigmatic personality of Jack Nicholson, highlighting his unique path to legendary status and, perhaps, explaining the depth and ambiguity of the characters he so masterfully portrayed on screen. His own life turned out to be as tangled and dramatic as any film script. If you're captivated by Jack Nicholson's complex personality and his extraordinary journey to the pinnacle of Hollywood, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating facts about cinema legends.